All right, we now bring in the soon-to-be heaviest member of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
You don't know how much I weigh.
That's true.
I'm not going to tell you either.
Yeah, all right. Travis Powell, there you
Wow.
This is what happens. Somebody get on a weight loss journey. They lose almost 100 pounds, and all of a sudden they got all the shots in the world. Listen, cool. Don't you worry, buddy. I'm gonna catch you.
You are. I kid because I love you, Travis. You. By the way, you look much better than I do. You're in much better shape. But so I'll take the jabs where I can. All right, let's get to your specialty here. Of course, yesterday we talked about running back rankings. Although we didn't talk about that with Tyvis. I don't remember what we talked about with Tyvis.
Yesterday with Tyvis we did the starter rankings.
Oh, the starter rankings. That's right. But corner, obviously, his bread and butter. So let's get to these cornerback rankings and see what Tyvis thinks.
Yeah, so we're going to go over the top 10, and then Denzel Ward, who finds himself in the top 10, had a little special write-up that I want to ask Tyvis about. But ESPN asked all the executives, personnel people, these are coaches, executives, scouts, players, or people in front offices in the league to rank their top 10 cornerbacks. And this is how the top 10 panned out. Number 1, the rating DPOY, before Myles Garrett won it. So not the reigning DPOY, the 2024 DPOY, Pat Surtain. Derek Stingley Jr. came in at number 2. Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots coming in at number 3. Devin Witherspoon of the Seattle Seahawks at number 4. And Trent McDuffie, who the Rams traded a first-round pick for this offseason, coming in at number 5. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, the 2 Eagles cornerbacks, coming in at number 6 and 10, respectively. Denzel was number 3 last year. He falls to number 7. J.C. Horn at 8, Sauce Gardner at 9. Part of the write-up, part of the reasoning for Denzel Ward was this from an NFL personnel evaluator. Quote, if Ward played in Kansas City or New England, he'd be the talk of the NFL. He doesn't get the credit he should. Twitch or closing speed, there's no one better. He closes faster than anyone I've ever seen in coverage. That's a special trait. Tyvis, he was number 3 last year. He's number 7 this year. This one individual evaluator says it's partly because he plays for a team that doesn't win many games in Cleveland.
But that doesn't make any sense. Why would he have been 3 last year? That doesn't make any sense.
You're asking me to come into the mind of the NFL personnel evaluator. Who
was he saying that's the reason he dropped on during the list? Because that doesn't make any sense.
Once again, you're asking. I'm just reading the quote from the article, boy.
But that quote doesn't say that's why he's lower.
That's what ESPN put in the article. You're getting mad at me for a publication that I had nothing to do with. Tyvis, your thoughts on Denzel being number 7?
What you're talking about, is logical, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, because I'm saying to myself, it doesn't matter where they play at. If they're good, then they're good, and they should be rated that high. However, I had a long, like 20 to 30 minute argument, I would say, with a guy by the name of Richard Kevin Sherman, and we argued over the fact that if you make plays in New York or one of those higher places, it does go further. And I didn't believe him until we start looking up numbers of just certain guys in certain areas. And the guy that we brought up happened to be Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner is a really good corner in this league. But we looked up some of the numbers and compared him to other corners that had numbers maybe even better, slightly better. And the guy, I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Taylor from the Saints, Alonzo Taylor,
who got honorable mention votes in this, by the way.
Yeah, I think it was him. I think his numbers, his rookie season or something like that, was kind of comparable to Sauce Gardner. But however, Sauce Gardner was looked at as a first-team All-Pro or second-team All-Pro, and this guy got nothing. So it does matter a little bit in the area that you play or which state or city that you play in. If you play in New York, Texas, Cali, it just, for some odd reason, ratings-wise, you just get higher, and that is what it is. However, to Denzel Ward, I was looking at this list yesterday because I sent it to you after I saw it, and I was thinking the first 3 names on that list is bona fide, hands down, top 3 corners in the league. It's not even negotiable. It is what it is. If you ask anybody that's been paying attention, that is the top 3. You can put them in any order you want, but that is the top 3 guys. However, after that, I looked at the next two, Devin Witherspoon and Trent McDuffie. What is it that they're doing that maybe Denzel isn't? And I thought, well, I know these guys play inside and outside. These guys go inside and play in the slot at times, play the nickel position. And I had Zach Jackson go pull these numbers up because I wanted to know, like, is it that big of a difference? And obviously there's the numbers. I think if Denzel truly does want to take his game to the next level and want to be considered bona fide top 5 every year, all year round, he got to take some more reps in that nickel spot. That nickel position this year is going to be tricky because there's a lot of things. A lot of people aren't saying the quiet part out loud. We talking about Myles Garrett from a pass rush standpoint, but we forget about the fact that the pass rush is tied into coverage. So now you're asking these guys to cover a little bit longer than they used to have to. With Myles, you cover 3 to 4 seconds, the play is over. Well, now, all of a sudden, Myles isn't there. We asking these guys to cover a little bit longer, and I always point to the nickel spot. This has been something since G. New has left. And me and Jason was on board when everybody was like, we could get rid of G. New. We got Cam Mitchell. I told y'all, don't hold on now. We got to see it a little bit longer with Cam Mitchell, and we've seen what it turned out to be with Cam Mitchell in that nickel spot. Right now, that is Miles Harding. So to me, I feel like that is an area that we got to figure out. If Jamar Chase and guys want to go inside, is Denzel going to continuously follow them inside, or is he going to stay wide? I think we put ourselves in a position now where if that pass rush isn't as dominant as it once was, Denzel is going to have to find a way to play some nickel this season and be more productive there.
Ty, if he's not in that spot, is that because they don't feel comfortable with him playing it, or does he not want to go there? Or do you not?
I'm not necessarily sure. I didn't go to OTAs this year, but when I went last year, I seen him take some reps at the nickel spot, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, maybe he's flirting with the idea of going down there. I think that it has to be a want to. It comes from the player. The corner obviously is going to go out there and say, hey, I feel comfortable playing nickel. I can go out there and play that. I can, play in the slot and play man or play cover 3 or whatever the case may be. It has to come from that player. So I don't know if he's had a desire to do that. I think that or it's been the simple fact that, hey, he's been so good on the outside, we don't need him to go in there. They've had 3 guys. You think it was him, Martin, and G. New. They always had a guy there. I think now that it's Myles Harden, not saying that Myles Harden is a bad player. I just think he has to develop and grow a little bit more, which he did do as the season went on. If he's not up to that standard, teams are going to sniff that out. And it depends on the backup. Okay, if we got a backup corner that is better on the outside, then one of those corners is going to have to slide inside and play that nickel position for them to be successful this season.
Tyvis, looking at this top 10, I think you're splitting hairs with a lot of these guys of who could be number 1, who could be number 5, all that. But how much, because Denzel's one of the older guys on that list, how much do you think the age and the fact that he's done it for a longer period of time plays into where he's ranked?
I mean, I think that, one, he's been very consistent. I think that with Denzel, he is a guy that is going to miss some games. These other guys kind of are healthy for the most part. And to me, I think that another thing that I look at is always the production on the ball. PS2 has gotten into people's heads to where they don't even want to throw him to throw his way. He's got that type of thing going. Derek Stingley, on the other hand, is a guy that's one of the most athletic guys. If you throw the ball up, he always finds a way to make a play on the ball. I think his ball skills is probably one of the best on this list. Christian Gonzalez, I mean, that dude is very strappy. I mean, we saw him in the Super Bowl. If the Patriots would have won, we're talking about this guy being Super Bowl MVP. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the other 2 guys, those guys are younger, and they have been doing it for a while. But I think that Denzel is at a point where I think a little bit of the fact that with the Browns having one of the best defenses, he's an anchor on it. I mean, everybody knows he's the second best player on the defense. So I think that does play a part into his respect. But I think that for him, if he gets his hands as far as interceptions go, I think that will shoot him up the list. I'm different when it comes to this. I think that the interception is something that has from the secondary as a whole, not even corners, particularly corners, but as a secondary in a whole, it's just not a lot of interceptions that are had anymore. You talk about 2010, 2011, these guys had 10, 11, 12 picks, 14 picks in the season. Now we're talking about guys leading the league with like 6 or 7 picks. Like, I don't know what's going on with that situation there. So if you truly, truly want to shoot up a corner ranking list, get your hand on that ball and get some interceptions.
By the way,
real quick, Kevin Byard led the NFL with 7 picks last year. No one else had 26.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
Tyvis, you need to go back and fight with Richard Sherman again because he is 100% wrong. Market has zero to do in the NFL. Zero. Winning does, but not market. Miles and Miles Garrett is the most popular defensive player in the league.
I would tell you this. This is another guy. This was another argument that I seen, and this guy also made the same. He had the same argument that Sherm had. Asante Samuel said the same thing. If he played in New York, it would be no doubt that he would be a Hall of Famer. And this is a guy that's fighting. And I look at his numbers. If you look at his numbers is right along the lines.
Who's the New York football player that doesn't deserve it that's got into the Hall of Fame recently?
What do you? Eli Manning is about to be.
Yeah, but
he won 2 Super Bowls. Though.
If he gets in, it has nothing to do with New York. It's because he won 2 Super Bowls. Every quarterback with 2 Super Bowls gets in. I personally wouldn't vote for Eli Manning, but you look at his stats. I mean, he's put up huge stats. I don't ever think he was the best player, but the bottom line, this is a nonsense narrative that's been going on for years. It's not like there's more voters in New York than there are for other towns. Why would people from Kansas City and Cincinnati vote for somebody from New York more? In baseball, I maybe can hear the argument.
I think it's probably because New York teams are more maybe televised, maybe more advertised.
They're not. In baseball, that's why in baseball I buy that argument because the Yankees are on TV all the time. The Jets and Giants have both stunk. They're not. I mean, maybe they're on more than the other stinky teams, but Kansas. In that quote, in that Mike read, that quote that he gave a reason for, weird. He said Kansas City. Kansas City's a tiny market. They're the most hyped team in the league because they're good because they're always in the playoffs. The Bengals, Joe Burrow gets tons of hype. Jamar Chase gets tons of hype. Cincinnati's a nothing market. But because those players are really good, same thing with Myles Garrett. Tyson Campbell got other receiving votes. I'm just not buying it.
Let me ask you this. Outside of us, if you just ask a random person in California to name you a starter on the Browns, not name Myles Garrett on the defense, do you think they can do it?
No, but I bet they can't name a starter on the Jets or Giants either. You think there's fans in LA that don't know Denzel Ward but know Sauce Gardner? I'm not buying that at all.
Yes.
No
chance.
I do.
The NFL put a lot of promotion behind Sauce Gardner after his rookie season.
100%.
I don't buy that. A casual football fan in LA knows Sauce Gardner? Come on, no chance.
We can do the experiment. Do you have a friend in one of these low markets that don't really pay attention to the NFL? Shoot him a text.
All my friends are big sports fans.
I know somebody here got some friend that don't really pay attention to football like that. Tell them to name you a defensive player.
I'm texting Alex Pappas right now, a buddy of mine who lives in LA, who's a Patriots fan but isn't a big sports fan.
Ask him if he can name a player on the Jets defense, name a player on the Browns defense.
Currently.
And by the way, who was higher on the list, Sauce Gardner or Denzel Ward?
Sauce Gardner plays for the Colts.
Denzel.
All right, details, whatever. So now he's on the Colts, so he's going to drop on the list. I mean, come on.
Real quick, I do agree. I think winning plays
in football, not market.
The market. And I think when he says if he played in Kansas City, New England, he's not alluding to the market. He's alluding to the fact that those two teams have been on bigger stages and more.
And that I buy. When you're good in the NFL, you get on TV more. It doesn't matter. Yes, they're going to lean towards a New York team if they were good. I get it, but they haven't been.
Mike, let me see that list again of the top guys. Oh, yeah, they all on playoff teams.
That's right.
What about 6? Okay, yeah. J.C. Horn is the guy that I'm very high on.
Denzel Ward is the highest guy on this list on a bad team. I don't know. Where's Quinyon Mitchell play? I don't even know.
Philly.
The Eagles.
Okay. I didn't know. I don't know. Most people are not going to know cornerbacks. I'm a diehard football fan, and I didn't know what team Quinyon Mitchell was on.
He did go to Toledo, played college ball.
Whatever. I'm being honest. I could have lied and said I knew or said nothing. But
you're telling me people are not going to know the swaggiest, cleanest people or most athletic guys on the team? What are you talking about?
No,
You don't
Tyvus,
know
'cause-
the corner
'cause
position. That's all
I mean,
people
I've
care.
heard of all those guys, but I didn't know what team Quinyon Mitchell was on.
You're not a ball knower. Just say
Hey,
that.
Ty,
Guess not. Guess
Ty, to
not.
put a wrap on this.
Yeah.
Tyson Campbell also got honorable mention votes in this ranking.
But if he were on the Jets, he would have been 8th.
No.
How do
No.
you believe that Tyson Campbell has a chance to possibly crack into the top 10, or is he kind of in that honorable mention category, which is there was 8 guys who got honorable mention votes, so somewhere
Who was
between
10? Who was 10?
number 10 was Cooper DeJean.
Oof.
Now he gets the white guy boost up. You know that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously it's year to year with the corner position. I mean, you see guys every year have a good year, get into the top 10, and then completely fall off the next year. So it's possible. I think that is a lot of guys that I would consider before Tyson Campbell. He's got a chance to prove me wrong. I think that he's also a guy that's got to worry about the fact that Myles Garrett isn't going to be there because,
That's true.
you know, this is a guy. Remember how I told y'all I'm not high on Denzel Boston until I see him do something to Denzel Ward? Guess how he got his fame. That's what the first big play that Denzel Boston did. It was a stuttering
Tyson Campbell.
on Tyson Campbell. So therefore, Tyson Campbell has to be ready this season because teams are not going to go after Denzel. They respect him. OCs respect Denzel. It's going to come after Tyson Campbell and Miles Harden. So he's got all the chance this year to have production on the football, get interceptions, all of those things, because the ball is going to come heavy his way. If he makes those plays and he gets his hand on the ball, maybe get a couple of interceptions, he can surely play his way into a top 10 guy.
By the way, Tyvus, ask Richard Sherman who got more hype playing corner than him when he played.
I don't really want to get into that conversation with him.
It probably Darrell Revis, who played with the Jets.
It's a bunch of names.
They weren't playing. Were they at their primes at the same time? I don't think they were.
Yeah, because you remember in the Super Bowl when they played the Patriots and Darrell Revis got bombed for a touchdown and Sherman went to the camera and went 2-4 touchdown because he was basically trying to say he wasn't that dude. This beef goes on for a long time. Another guy that was very hyped up at the time was Patrick Peterson, who was also in the same division as the Seahawks. So it's a lot of guys who received a lot of hype. So,
all right.
Hey, real quick, I'm kind of fascinated by the whole Denzel slot thing. If he doesn't play at all in the slot this year, it's the same low numbers. Can we then, with a new DC, can we then surmise that he probably just isn't comfortable doing that, or is that not fair?
I
would say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the ultimate test to know if somebody is not comfortable playing there is if we again this season, because we play more man-to-man than any team in the NFL did last year. If we play man-to-man and the number one receiver lines up in the slot and Denzel don't go down there to check him, that tells you right then and there that he's not comfortable playing.
I mean, why haven't the Bengals put Jamar Chase in the slot every play against the Browns?
I have no idea.
That would be smart because he's done great against Jamar Chase. Anyway, Tyvus, good to see you as always, buddy.
Likewise. So it's good to see you all slimming down. Hopefully to catch y'all one day. Jason, do some